Hey everybody, Goosebumps for Dummies here, back at it again with another book review. This time reviewing Goblin Monday, the newest Goosebumps book in the franchise, and it's the second book in the House of Shivers series, which is the newest series currently. Who knows what we're getting in the future? Panic Park series. Anyways, yes, Goblin Monday. I actually read this book in a couple of hours, just quickly sped through it. And it was surprisingly a shocking read, to say the least, with some insane twists, I'll say that. And it's very unique. So, without giving my general opinion on it, let's just get into the blurb. And now for the blurb.
Don't go out in the woods today, I think I am very gay.
Mario is spending winter break with his neighbors Todd and Jewel on their family vacation to Vermont. He is excited to see snow for the first time, and meet his friend's beloved grandparents. But Todd and Jewel's grandparents turn out to be a little odd. They love telling tall tales of goblins, elves, and trolls. Fun fact, trolls are never mentioned once in the entire fucking book. Yeah. When Mario spots a blur of green fur in the garden, another fun fact that never happens in the book. Yeah, I'm not kidding, that scene is never in the book. He wonders if the stories could be real. He's determined to find out what's going on, but the truth might be more dangerous than fiction. Well, this book was actually a surprisingly decent read. Now, is this a good follow-up to Scariest Book Ever? I would say so. It's not as good, I'd say, as that book, but this was a still very decent read. And I definitely recommend you check this out if you need a very, very, very fresh breath of air in the Goosebumps franchise. Because this had a very unique twist in here and a couple of unique things about it. And if you're a big fan of Judy and the Beast, this also has some eerie similarities to that book, and also quite a few differences, but yeah, it's eerily similar to Judy and the Beast. And no, this has, nothing to do with Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. This has, no relations at all, besides a garden and multiples of these motherfuckers. Yeah, that's about it for Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. I know people are thinking that a lot when this book's cover and, plot got announced, but no, it's not anything like Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, at all. So, yeah, it's a very, very interesting read, and I surprisingly enjoyed it. Let's get into what I enjoyed about it now. So what did I like about the book? Well, starting off with my huge upside for this book, there was a lot of unique things about it, involving specifically twists and, of course, the actual plot. Now, the plot, there's a lot of mystery going on, but some of the things we get to see in this book are not only grisly, which is kind of cool, kind of like that, adds to the episodes, the score a bit, involving dead rabbits, and very, very detailed. Their stomach was fucking ripped out, and people eating birds. The actual twist of the book, when it gets to them, they're actually decent, in my opinion. I like the whole, everybody's a fucking goblin thing, basically. Because everybody's a goblin in this book. It's kind of funny. Literally, there's not a single character mentioned in the book besides through stories that aren't goblins. Yeah, every character in the book that is literally there, besides our main character, is a fucking goblin. That's really cool. And our main character's actual twist with him is actually really cool, that he's a secret agent of sorts, and I thought it was very, very unique. We've never seen that, ever in Goosebumps, from at least what I've read so far. Yeah, never saw that. It might be in a GYG or some shit. I think it has, actually. Maybe. I don't fucking know, but if so, it's in a GYG for sure, because that's some wild shit. A couple of smaller things I really liked about the book were the winter setting. That was surprisingly decent. I really like winter settings in Goosebumps in general, and almost literally any horror. If it has a winter setting, I'm kind of in for it. It's very, very creepy in my opinion. I hate winter. So, yeah. There's also some very dark shit in this book. Like I kind of mentioned earlier with a stomach being ripped out of a rabbit, there's some grisly stuff in this book, and especially the actual ending, which is its own upside, where the main character gets fucking eaten. He dies, and it's sort of a little graphic because we get the details of them biting him and chewing him up. Todd and Jewel, yes, they're the ones doing it. And it's just, it's really good, honestly. I actually really, really like that. I love these darker, more metal endings in Goosebumps. Not only is there grisly scenes, like I said, there's very dark stuff in this book, involving the parents going missing of Todd and Jewel. They are literally absent from, page 50 and on. And it is clarified. They send out search parties. Well, quote unquote, they send out search parties. No, the fuck they don't. I'm pretty sure, at least. We never get to see any of those search parties, and by the end of the book, when the twist is they're all goblins, I doubt they fucking did. Honestly. And, yeah, it's just quite dark having these parents missing. Like, you don't know what's actually happened to them. And of course, you're considering maybe the goblins have something to do with it. Maybe. Never really answered, which is sort of a downside. We'll get to that in a minute. And yeah, just very, very dark. There's also a scene where, I think Todd bashes his head on a rock or something. And he doesn't even get, like, hurt. It's very grisly because it's described with a large crack. It's just, ugh. I can't imagine the pain he must have felt. But it's like he didn't feel pain, it seems. Another sort of downside, by the way. There's some issues with the book involving some stuff that's never clarified. And yeah, it's just kind of creepy as well that he's never actually injured there. This one has some really exceptional writing. I thought the writing in this book was very decent. And surprisingly above average for what we've gotten in recent years. I think Scariest Book Ever isn't even as good as this, so I'll give it to that. I'll give it to this book for writing above Scariest Book Ever, even if this one's not better than that book, but writing here, much better, I feel. It's just a very well written book, especially in the first, 30 pages. I was just sitting there very much enjoying the writing. Very, very, very well written. I also really like the characters here, especially Grandpa Tweety, with his weird bird shit, and there's also a twist later in the book involving a bird being missing, and of course him eating birds, but yeah, Grandpa Tweety and his bird obsession are always creepy tales we get to see throughout the book. They don't even add to the story, they're just good tales. Honestly, I quite like them, and even, like I said, the ones that don't add to the story are good. I think there's a tale about gremlins in the book, and involving a truck. That one was decent. I actually liked reading for that, even if it literally added nothing to the story, it was still decent. And of course, there's tales earlier in the book that have nothing really to do with the actual story. Could have been cut out entirely, but they're fun and decent. So I'll give them that. And yeah, that's the huge things I really liked about the book. Like I said, the plot's very solid. The twists are very solid. There's a lot of just nice writing and nice scenes in here. And very grisly moments. But I have a few nitpicks. Notice how I said nitpicks. Because these are more nitpicks than actual downsides, but they do add up. And that's the lack of actual explanations in this book. Now, there's a huge explanation for some stuff, and some of these could be drawn to conclusions. But the whole where the fuck did the parents go thing is never explained. It is never. They just walk in the climax, and it's never told where the hell they were. It's never told if there were real search parties, because these guys, are fucking goblins. I don't think they're actually going to pull out search parties. I doubt people even know that they're goblins, so it's just kind of like, what the fuck? Yeah, honestly, I don't think they were really missing in the end, but it's never exactly explained where they were, if they were really missing, if they weren't really missing. It's just stupid. Like, where the fuck is the explanation? It's never given out in the book, and it kind of pisses me off. Another thing that's also a little nitpicky is the lack of explanation where the fuck this kid never got hurt. Now, trust me, these goblins can be hurt. These goblins can be hurt. There is a scene in this book where this kid punches a goblin. The main character, Mario, punches the goblin in the chest. And I believe the wind gets knocked out of him. It's not relatively a punch, but it's more like a football tackle. Yeah, he's stunned. And he takes a photo of him. Somehow, that goblin got hurt, but of course, Todd, who is a goblin by the end of the book, it's confirmed, with the grisly-ass ending where they eat him in the backseat of the car. Awesome. He's just unfazed by getting his head smashed into a rock, and when you really think about it, it just doesn't make sense. It's never explained at all in the book, and I don't like it. It's stupid. It's a good scene, to be fair, but, it's never explained. What the fuck? A couple issues I'd also have in the book is the rather bit of fat that is added on, because there's a lot of scenes I feel that don't really add to the story, and of course the unexplainedness of the story, with the parents just not, being missing and also being missing at the same time, never really gets explained what the hell actually happened to him, and of course Todd getting really badly injured doesn't feel a thing. Yeah. With those scenes being there, it's kind of just extra fat to lead up to nothing, it feels. There's also a scene in here that I thought was also rather annoying, where Mario drags his two friends outdoors to see Grandpa Tweety eat a bird again. And when he doesn't, the kids just magically look away. And also, another issue, why would he do that if he doesn't really care about if they see it or not? It's like, If you're a fucking secret agent, why do you need to prove shit? You already know goblins exist. You know, a lot of people know what goblins exist. Why do you really care about showing these kids that their grandpa is eating a bird? It's just weird. Some stuff just does not add up throughout the book. Speaking of shit not adding up, I just found another thing. Goddamn. Well, it turns out that the entire final chapter could have been completely avoided because, for some random reason, I don't know why Mario cared so much about getting home, when there were people from his organization, which he confirmed in the final chapter, coming to pick up the goblins at the grandparents' house. Couldn't he just wait there and put the kids to sleep and the kids' parents, and lock them in the cage? It's just like, why? Why do you need to get driven home by goblins? If you know they're goblins, don't you think they're gonna try some shit on you? Yeah, he gets eaten because of it, because he's a fucking idiot and just doesn't put him to sleep and wait there when there's people coming to pick him up anyway. It's stupid. And that's really it for downsides, so let's move on to my rating. With all those nitpicks, which there's a lot of nitpicks about the story that kind of just add up, like I said, I actually still really enjoyed the book, and I do recommend it because there's a lot of unique things here in the book that I really did enjoy. And of course, there's lots of grisly moments in the book, and a decent bit of body horror, and a transformation scene. And also, I quite liked huge twist with Mario, and of course, the final chapter of this book. Very grisly, like I said earlier. And of course, the writing here is decently exceptional. I think it's a bit above average for Stine. And yeah, Goblin Monday is going to get a strong 8 out of 10. I recommend this. Not as good as Scariest Book Ever, which got an 8.5 out of 10, but I still decently enjoyed this, and I think this is definitely worth your time. Especially if you want a breath of fresh air, like I keep stretching out. So, yeah, Goblin Monday, 8 out of 10. Had some big nitpicks, but overall it's a decent story. With some decent twists and very uniqueness to it. And yeah, it's going to conclude this book review. Tell me what you think of Goblin Monday below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you neutral on it? Do you not fucking care? And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.